And I would like to welcome Vera Longto-Sheehan from the Vermont Abenaki Artist Association to lead us through this program for today. Queen Nidobak, Undelawazi, Pela Longto-Sheehan, in Gisiton, Vermont Abenaki Artist Association. Hello, friends. My name is Vera Longto-Sheehan, and I'm the director of the Vermont Abenaki Artist Association, and I'm also an artist and an activist, and I do a lot of education work throughout Dakina, which is our homeland. And for the record, I would like to state that we are on the unceded or unsurrendered territories of the Abenaki peoples. Today, I'm here with Chief Don Stevens and the Nohegan Abenaki drum, and over to the side, we have Jim Taylor, who's doing some quill work demonstrations until about half an hour after the performance. I started by introducing myself in Abenaki, so you would hear the say, because it's important for people to know that we have our own language, our own traditions, and our own culture that are still vibrant and living today. You may have noticed that when I introduced myself, when I say I'm a citizen of the Elnu Abenaki tribe, you'll hear Elnu Wabanaki. Wabanaki is actually Abenaki for Abenaki. Our legal name. As we move through today's performance, what you're going to see is myself, Chief Don Stevens, and maybe even some other folks coming forward and giving little messages and bits and pieces, telling you a little bit about our culture as we move through today's program. So I don't want to take too long here, but I would just like you to invite you to not just listen to the storytelling and the music today, but also to come forward toward the end and talk to us and ask questions. That's what we're here for. Willie Winnie, great, thanks. And now I'm going to turn this over to the Nohegan drum right behind me.
Kwe Nino Ba, Tony Panakwonzi. Means hello, friends. Nice to see you. We're the Nohegan band of the Kusak Abenaki Nation. That's the English version. People would know us of the place of the wooden traps who live in the pines who see the first light of day. Nohegan means wooden traps or deadfall traps. Kusak means pine or little pine, where we would live. And Abenaki is the first light of the day. So that's how people would know where we are. We are place-based people, so we are the place and the place are us. We're going to sing, the first song we're going to sing is our flag song. That is the Nohegan flag in the back. It's blue represents the water and the sky. The green represents Mother Earth, who is in the middle of the turtle. And the fiddlehead fern, spring renewal. So the colors yellow, blue, and green. The sun in the sky brings water down to the earth that grows our food, takes care of us. So there's a lot of meaning in our place. So we're going to sing a flag song, then we're going to do a lullaby to the spirit of the woods. You might call him Yeti, Sasquatch, whatever. We call him the spirit of the woods. And I'll get into the things later, but we had 400 years of Christianization through the Jesuits. This was all considered New France. So it was easy for us to be Christianized because our spiritual way of being is similar to the church's. And I'll explain that when I do our creation story to kind of tell you that even though it's different, it's the same. So that way you'll get a sense of who we are. So the spirit of the woods, Yahweh, is the great spirit. So that means the spirit of the woods. And we'll sing that, and we'll do 3 songs. Thank you. That was the Abenaki flag song. Now we're going to sing the Spirit of the Woods song. Where we live up in the Northeast Kingdom, up in Vermont, up where Lake Willoughby is, Mohegan Basin, Mohegan River. At night, if you picture us going over onto a cliff, overlooking Lake Memphremagog and sitting on that cliff and the moonlight is out. And the Spirit of the Woods takes care of the animals and the trees, sort of what like St. Francis would do, right? Takes care of the animals and the trees and the plants. Well, he also has to rest. So we would sing him this lullaby so that way he could go to sleep and tell him that basically we're saying thank you, Great Spirit, for watching over the trees and the animals, but we will watch over it for you. And it's a lullaby, and if you close your eyes and picture yourself over that lake, and it's dead quiet, nothing but the crickets, and you can kind of hear that beautiful lullaby. And this is how it goes. Yahweh, Yahweh. Duck and dive. People would be out there like they're hunting and they'd duck and they'd dive. So that's called a duck and dive. So that's 3 songs if you want, and then we can go from there.
Okay, fantastic.
Thank you.
So I'm going to just take a couple minutes and tell you a little bit about the Vermont Abenaki Artists Association. The work we're doing with Vermont Abenaki Artists Association really started the groundwork probably back in 2007, maybe a little bit longer, when I started working helping promote different Abenaki artists. But at that time, it wasn't legal for us to say we were Abenaki artists. We would have to say we were Abenaki because none of our tribes were recognized. Then in 2009 in Vermont, there was a big celebration for Samuel D. Champlain, and we started. But what about us? You know, when Samuel D. Champlain first arrived, you know, we were some of the people that he met, and so we were like, what about us? So I was able to work with our community, artists, culture bearers, presenters, and we had a really big cultural celebration called the Vermont Indigenous Celebration in 2009. So that's what we did. Instead of celebrating Samuel D. Champlain, we celebrated our survival, our resistance, and our resiliency. Then and at that time we had to say Indigenous celebration. We couldn't say we were Abenaki. There's other work we did with the Lake Champlain Maritime Museum, and we weren't allowed to say we were Abenaki there either. We had to say it was a Native American encampment weekend. So in any case, in 2011 and 2012, 4 Abenaki tribes were recognized in the state of Vermont. That was the Elnu Abenaki tribe, which is my tribe, Assoc Abenakis, and the Nulhegan Abenakis, which I have here with me today, and the Missisquoi Abenakis. And after we all received recognition, it became legal for us to start selling our artwork as Native American made. And we were able to really come out and start promoting our artwork. And the Vermont Abenaki Artist Association was born. And we started sort of like as a website where people could just come as a directory and maybe they'll find it in Google. And we started with this online directory, and then we started talking to different people in the community, and we developed community partnerships, and we started having events like this one all over the region. So I talked a little bit about the idea of recognition, and we're in New Hampshire right now. And I just want you to know that there are Abenaki tribes in New Hampshire that are not recognized because New Hampshire does not have a route or a process for that yet. Coming back to the Artist Association, so we had this online directory and it was great, but then it grew over the years. And so now we do so much more than just have a website to direct people. We do live events, we create exhibits, we do school programs, and we work with museums. And so we're very excited to be here with all of you today and share a little bit about our culture. And we left some brochures around on tables. If you want to learn more about us, you can go visit our website. And I'm going to hand this over now to Chief Don Stevens, who's going to do some storytelling. And he may want to add more on to what I said. In any case, here we go. Do you want the mic?
Sure. You do a story.
Yeah. So he's going to do a story for us.
Thank you. Once in a while, I don't have a chew in my mouth. It's muskrat root. It's a little strong. It's our throat lozenge. So when we're singing, it's a little bit bitter. It's a lily, basically a water lily type thing, and it's pretty pungent. Anybody want to try some? They're more than welcome to at some point. We'll have some of our gentlemen cut it up for you. So you'll see me doing this once in a while because it breaks up in your mouth. Anyway, that's not more than you wanted to hear, but just so you knew, that's what it is. All right, since this is a sort of a church-sponsored sort of function, I do a lot of spiritual work in my role as chief and do a lot of burials and weddings and namings and other things. So I like to take these opportunities to to at least let you know about how our creation story is. And I love having discussions sometimes with pastors when they say, that's a nice story. And I said, well, if you listen to our story and you listen to the Bible, that they're not too far off. So if you believe in the Bible, you're going to believe in our spirituality as well, because we have a thing called gluskapi, who is created from the falling hands, the dust from the Creator. Well, Adam was made of dirt, right? There's one God, one Creator. Tabaldak is his name. You might call him God, Creator. We call him Tabaldak. We didn't have such a thing as called the devil. We thought good people do bad things, and sometimes good people do really bad things. And I think in the Bible, the devil was an angel that fell from heaven. So he was doing some maybe good work at some time. Who knows? I don't know him, so I don't know. But we have a person, we call him, he's a trickster, right? And like I just mentioned, Spirit of Woods, right? He watches over our animals and plants and trees, but so doesn't St. Francis. So if you think about those parallels, it's not too far off. So I'm going to tell you our version of the creation story. Long time ago, the Creator, Tabaldak, was walking across the universe. And he had his friend Tolba, the turtle, in his pocket. Because she couldn't walk very fast, obviously, if you've been around a turtle. And Mageso, the eagle. The feathers. So they came with the Creator as they were crossing the Milky Way, walking across. Well, Toba, knowing she likes water, said, hey boss, I'm thirsty, man. I need a drink. We got to stop. We got to get some water. You ain't got any water in this here pouch. You're all out. So the Creator says, I'd literally like to get going. You know, we got a lot of miles to create, a lot of travel. And Tolba said, I ain't going anywhere until I get a drink of water. And of course, because we listen to our women and we treat them really well, we said, okay, let's find some water. So we started looking around. He started looking around. And there was 3 planets off in the distance. And he goes, well, Megeso, why don't you fly over to those planets and try to figure out if there's any water around? So Megeso took off. And you see him fly to this one planet, kind of a bluish white planet. And then it flew over to this really black planet. And then it flew over to this really white planet. And he flew back. And he goes, okay, hey, creator, boss. You might call him boss, hey. Got some good news and bad news. What do you want? And he says, well, give me the good news. He says, I found water. The creator goes, sweet. And Tolba's like, all right, we're getting a drink. And he says, what's the bad news? It's frozen. He's like, oh, really? Frozen? All right, well, let's go down there to the bluish white planet, try to figure out how do we thaw this water out. So they went down, and he took out his neck knife. He started chipping some of the ice, and put it in his hand. Well, you've held ice cubes before. You get a little bit of water, but it's not much, and your hand gets cold. But he wasn't getting much out of it, right? So he goes, okay, what are we going to do? And they sat there, and they thought for a minute. Well, Tolba says, I don't care, but I want a drink, but it's frozen. And he goes, I ain't holding it in my hand. He goes, okay, well, I'll give you a piece of my shell. So Tolba went in, got a piece of shell, gave it to the creator, gave him a couple of pieces. And he goes, okay, well, how are we going to hold this thing? So Megeso said, well, I got a couple of stems, a couple of feathers I'll give you. You can use the stems as a little handle. Creator thought for a minute, okay, well, how are we going to tie it on? So he said, I'll use some of my hair. And he braided up his hair, and he tied the stems onto the shell. So he had a couple of little containers, and he filled them up with ice. He goes, okay, well, how are we going to melt this thing? And Tolba says, well, you got a fire stick and fire starter in your pouch. Maybe you can start a fire. He goes, okay, but I can't make it here on the ice, right? That fire will go out quick. So, okay, well, where are we going to go? What about those other 2 planets, Megeso? What are we going to do? Well, I ain't going over there. That place is hard as coal. It's a solid rock of black coal. I ain't sleeping on that, and I ain't going to start no fire over there. Okay. What about that other planet? Yeah, it's kind of beachy sand, kind of nice to sit on. Okay, a nice sand pile. That'd be good to start fire. So they went over to this white planet, and they started they made a little fire pit, and they put a little crater, and they put the fire sticks in, and he struck his flint and steel, and poof, made a little fire. But he didn't have any wood. There's no wood on this planet. So he's like, So he set the dippers there. All of a sudden, he's going for a while, and then all of a sudden, the fire started going down and down. But that ice was nowhere near ready to melt. So the creator's like, oh, man, what are you going to do? He just got frustrated. He said, let's just go to bed. Let's sleep here for the night. We'll travel in the morning. And he picked up the sticks, and he tossed them, and he kicked them, kind of like throwing a little tantrum, right? And these sticks flew across the sky, and he just laid down. Anybody know what that white planet is yet? Okay, well, maybe you'll guess it. So anyway, all of a sudden, poof! This other black planet caught on fire. And Megeso was like, hey, look at that. Look, that whole planet engulfed in flames. That's the sun, right? He goes, oh, great. We can melt this ice now. So he hung those 2 containers in the sky. Anybody know what those 2 containers are? The big and little dipper. There you go. Hung those containers in the sky so that way he could melt the ice. So he said, okay, well, we got to wait for this to melt, so we got to lay down. So he laid down onto this white planet. Anybody ever here lay down on the beach? No? Have you ever fallen asleep? After the sun's been beating on you, it gets kind of sticky, right? So in the morning, they woke up, and they had all this sand all over them. You're not walking very far with sand in your shorts, right? Because It's kind of like gritty, right? So where the Creator laid, his face was still in the sand. Everybody's heard of the man of the moon, right? They've seen the face of the moon. That's where the Creator had laid down, and his face imprinted into the sand. So when you look up, you see the man of the moon, or the face of the moon. That's where our Creator laid. And some of those craters with some of the black marks is where the fire was, where he had. So as they got out, they said, we gotta go clean off. So they went down to the earth. They went down to the blue planet, and by then it had melted, right? The sun had hit it and melted. Their time and our time is not quite the same. So it had time to melt after they drank a little bit of the water from the dippers. So they went down, and the Creator landed. Boom. He's standing in this, nothing but water. The whole planet's covered with water, and Tolba's like, wow, I need a drink. So he took Tolba out of his pocket and put her in the water, and she started swimming around. If you've ever gone to the mall with someone who likes to shop or do something, you're standing there and she's swimming around having fun, and you're like, boy, this is going to be a long day. So she's swimming around. He goes, I need a place to sit, but I can't sit in this water. But he knew he was standing on something. So he said, hey, Magesa, why don't you fly around and see if you can find a place to sit so we can go and chill out. So Magesa took off, started flying around the planet. So he's sitting there looking around. Tolba's having fun swimming, floating on her back and, spitting out water, things like every kid would do, or someone who's having fun in the water. So he reaches down because he's standing on something. He pulled out some earth, slid through his fingers, right? Dirt and water make mud. So he reached down again and it fell down. And he's like, oh my God, I ain't going to have a place to sit. Hopefully she's done soon. But he was trying to think of how is he going to sit down. So unconsciously thinking, as his hand was out in the air like it is now, when the wind hits mud, what happens? It starts to cake, right? So he's just sitting there rubbing his hands like, where am I going to find a place to sit? And as he rubbed his hands together, that dirt started falling from his hands. And Gluskapi, the one who created himself from something, started falling from the sky and grabbing things, grabbing the dirt and making himself, right? And he started to take on a human form as he was falling. And other spirits started were created. The spirit of the woods, the spirit of the drum, Odzo, the creator of the lake. All these spirits were falling down to the ground. All of a sudden, this dirt was hitting the water, splash, splash, and Tolba's looking up. It was like somebody's throwing something at me. Looking up, and saw all this dirt falling down from the Creator's hand. And she started seeing these things form. These spirits form and falling. She goes, oh my God, they're made of dirt. As soon as they hit the water, they're going to just be no more. The water's going to destroy them. So she's like, oh, I got to catch them. So she's like this, and she's trying to catch them. And that dirt's falling on the back of her, right? Hence why we're sitting on Turtle Island, or Mother Earth, the heartbeat, right? All this dirt is falling on their back. And of course it's magical dirt because it's falling from the hands of the Creator, right? The Creator's all powerful, right? So if it's falling on her back, and all of a sudden she's fully engulfed in all of this, and all of a sudden Gluskapi and the other things, boom. Gluskapi landed on his feet. Well, Odzo didn't have time to get his legs formed, and he slammed down on his back, and that's what formed Lake Champlain, right? Boom. Odziozo's, wow, that's a different story, but Odziozo's the creator of Lake Champlain. So anyway, boom, he falls down, he gets stuck to the earth. But Gluskapi made it, and he's fine. And all of a sudden, Magesa flew back. And the Creator's looking at him, he said, hey, you find a place to sit? And he goes, no, but why don't you sit right on that island that's right there? I go, what island? I don't know. There's an island there. He goes, whatever. We got to get going. We've been messing around too long. He goes, Tolba, let's go. Tolba, where are you? Because he can't see Tolba anymore. She's covered with dirt. Tolba, let's go. And she goes, I'm under here. He's like, what? I'm under here. And then she told him the whole story about the beings falling down. He looked down and said, "Oh yeah, okay. There's some people, whatever, people down there. All right, well let's go." And Toba says, "I can't, because if I leave, these spirits will have no place to go and they'll die." At that time, the Creator started to cry because he knew he had to leave his friend behind. And when he cried, it fell into the water and created the seas, the salt from his tears made the salt water. So he said, "Well, okay, well, I don't want to leave you here alone. We're gonna go and get some of your other friends, your turtles, and come back so you're not alone." And Gluskapi goes, "Hey, what about me? I don't want to be alone. I don't want to be alone." He goes, "What? Oh yeah, you. Okay, just make something. If you don't want to be alone." And took off. He goes, "All right." He goes, "What should I make?" He goes, "Well, just, I don't know, make something in your own image, right?" Okay. So he goes, "Okay, I'm going to take this stone, and I'm going to chip it, and I'm going to make humans, just like me." And he started chipping away, and he made these humans out of soapstone, but they had no heart. So he made all these humans, and they're stomping around, and he made all these things, and he fell asleep because he was so tired making all these humans out of stone. He fell asleep and he started dreaming about all these things. Like all of these weird animals with bones sticking out of their head, big antlers, and birds with long necks, and animals with big teeth and flat tails building all the time. And he woke up and he goes, "Oh my God, what a nightmare that was." And he started looking around and he goes, "Oh my God, everything," he was made from the magic of the Creator. So everything he dreamed came true, right? Sort of like that Disney thing, right? No matter what you dream, it comes true. Anyway, so he started, "Oh my God," he saw moose, and he saw the beaver, and he saw these herons, and he saw the trees and all the plants, and he's like, "Oh, what did I do? The Creator's going to be so mad." But as he sit and he looked a while, he said, "Wow, everything has harmony. The beavers built a place for the animals to come and drink, and the trees are getting things. This isn't so bad. But these humans I made out of stone, stomping on everything, destroying all of that creation." So then the Creator came back and he goes, "Okay, this is what happened." And he goes, "I messed up, but things look pretty good, but these stone people are stomping on everything." So the Creator said, "Okay, I'll fix stuff." So he laid the stone people on the ground, and they became mountains. And that's why you see the face in New Hampshire of the person coming out of the mountain, except his nose fell off. But still, I mean, that's why you see his face, the man of the mountain, right? Because they were the first humans that were laid down onto the ground. And he said, "Okay, we took care of that problem." But in the meantime, the spirits were like, "Look, these guys are too noisy. I don't want to be around all these people." So he made a place for them to go. And he asked them what they wanted to do. The spirit of the woods wanted to be with the plants and animals. The drum wanted to accompany the singing of the people, and so on and so forth, right? So they all had their place. And then, of course, some of the underwater spirits wanted to go, like Champ and Gitsy. We call him Gitsy Gog. Wanted to be underneath the waters and other things. So, anyway, so there's an underwater area, and there's a sky area, and then there's the plains. So anyway, the spirits kind of they kind of left, but they can come and go as they want. So he goes, "Okay, now that's fixed, and the spirits are happy, and everything's back to normal. Now I'm going to leave. Come on, Magesa, we got to go." And he goes, "Well, I'm still going to be alone. You just put the people down as mountains. Well, I still have nobody." He goes, "Okay, well, you can make something else, but it only can affect you. So all the magic that you have can only affect you. So if you dream hard enough, you work hard enough, your dreams will come true." You've heard that, right? Because you still have some of that magic. So he says, "Okay, make something that's alive, that's rooted in everything. That's part of that whole creation." So he said, "Okay, I'll create humans again, but I'll create it out of the black ash tree." He says, "Okay." So he carved the humans out of the ash tree, and he blew life and shot an arrow, and they stepped out. And he goes, "Oh, that's good, because they're rooted. So all the blood that flows through our veins also is like what flows through the veins of the trees." So he created humans out of those, and that's why the black ash tree, is with us all the time, and we make baskets. So before the Creator left, we're getting towards the end of the story. Before the Creator left, Gluskapi wanted to thank him for providing him all of this stuff. So he carved a pipe bowl out of the soapstone, and so that way the fire, our prayers would always be lifted to the heavens. He made the second, the pipe stem out of wood that represented the second iteration of the humans. So putting them together was a trinity of the original people, the other people, and ourselves. So we were all in one. Then the animals gave some of their fur to make a bag and like this, and knick tobacco that we would use to smoke from. And he presented that to the Creator and said, "This is so you always remember your people. You will always come back to your people and know that you did something, a blessing here. You have really done something incredible by helping create our race and our world here. So you would never forget us." The Creator was so moved and so touched, he asked Mageso, "Would you stay with these humans, and would you stay with Toba? So that way, if they ever needed us or needed me, you know where to find me. You know where to go to." That's why eagle feathers are so important to Native people. It's like holding a crucifix. It's like holding the hand of God, because Mageso knows where to reach him for our prayers. So we hold and carry these eagle feathers because it's holding the hand of our Creator, our God. So when we send our prayers, it goes directly to him, and he knows where to return them back to us. So Mageso agreed to stay, and that's what blows the winds around, because of his big wings blows the air around and keeps the world from becoming stagnant. There's a lot of things that go beyond that, but that's why our native pipe bowls are made of stone, and the wooden handle is made of a wooden stem, and why we offer our prayers and we smoke our pipes to deliver those prayers through Mageso to the Creator for good wishes. So that is our creation story. Some of it mimics some of Christianity and some of it doesn't. It's kind of a blend, but you kind of see how some has a meaning and everything has a purpose. And I won't go through, I mean, I could talk stories. to do a veteran songs for all the veterans. We're going to ask, well, it's going to be filmed because they're filming it. We just ask that no pictures. I mean, we know you're filming it, but you know what? We're not going to do that just
Maybe
because.
do something different.
Yeah, we're not going to do that because we don't want to. We call the veterans in, and we're not going to do that because it's being filmed. So we'll skip that one this time.
Healing song.
What?
Healing song.
We're gonna do a healing song. The healing song is for anybody who needs healing. It could be the earth, it could be the planet, it could be each other. We sing this when people are sick, and the way the song goes is that someone is feeling really sick and it starts out slow, and they're coming up to get the medicine, and then they take the medicine and they're feeling better, and then they're happy. So it's the first part's slow, the second part's a little upbeat, and then it goes back to the next person coming up, and then it keeps going. So if you know of anybody that needs healing, just think of them while we're doing the song. Start out slow.
That's a healing song. That's why it gets faster. I want to do one thing before we do our last song. Since people learn about stereotypes, I'm going to clue you in on a little thing. Have you ever heard this? That is from an old Western where the warriors are coming to go raid the town and take their women. Do you know that's actually a pine cone dance is a woman's dance? Not that women ain't going to come and go kick your butt when you need it. But I'm going to do a couple of verses. Basically, women would stand up and they would dance and they would face each other. Then they would turn around and they would go back to back, and then they would circle in between each other. We would put, I remember I told you we were Assoc, people of the pine. This is called the pine cone dance. We would put pine needles up on the drum, and as we would drum, the pine needles would vibrate, and sometimes they would come straight up in the air. But it's a woman's song, and it goes like this. Just so the next time you watch a Western and you hear, you'll see a bunch of women going, Nunjin dak mose tutua, Nunjin dak mose tutua. Hey, I wanna kwe, I wanna, hey, I wanna kwe, I wanna, hey, I wanna kwe, I wanna. Luna dak mose tutua, Luna dak mose tutua. Hey, I wanna kwe, I wanna, hey, I wanna kwe, I wanna, hey, I wanna kwe, I wanna. Gaga dak mose tutua, Gaga dak mose tutua. Hey, I wanna kwe, I wanna, hey, I wanna kwe, I wanna, hey, I wanna kwe, I wanna. So the next time you hear that, it'll be a couple women going. So it won't be the, oh my God, the natives are coming. So next time you watch a Western, which I know some of you may, every time you see that, you'll be like, yeah, that's a woman's pine cone song. We like to dispel stereotypes sometimes. But there is only one tune that starts that way, and that's the pine cone song. Your cards are coming all over. We'll have to pick them up.
I'll grab them out.
Anyway, White Sky.
White
We're going to blow our voices out because White Sky is a really feel-good song, and it blows your throat out. Time to get a drink, boys. Are you ready?
I haven't learned that one all that well, but
Your voices are going to be higher than
We'll try starting out low, but it never goes. Yahweh, hey, Yahweh, hey, Yahweh, Yahweh, hey, 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 Yahweh, hey, Yahweh. out your lungs if you're not here.
Friendship dance.
I think we're
Oh, we're done?
I think we're done, yeah.
Okay.
I don't really know the friendship.
I don't either.
We have no friends.
Honor song. Micmac honor song. Well, you got,
We can do a we can do a Micmac honor song if you want.
I don't
You guys want to hear one more or no? We're going to do an honor song that's a Micmac honor song. We're all part of the Abenaki Confederacy, which include the Mi'kmaq. So we're going to do the song, Micmac honor song. Woo! You had to do that after we just blew our lungs out. Get me dead amone, don't tell your nosy, and hang on my soul, hang on my way down. Get me dead amone. Stevens, and this is the Nulhegan Drummers. So visit us at AbenakiTribe.org.
And if you're up in Eden, Vermont, come over to our gathering.
Just gonna say.
Yeah, just let you know we're having a Nulhegan gathering the 25th at Lake Eden at the Boy Scout camp, and October 9th we're having a big Indigenous Day celebration up in Stowe. So look at our website, keep track of what we're doing, and thank you for listening to us, and we appreciate being invited here today. Take it away, Vera.
Thank you so much. And so I'm going to do a little add-on for Vermont Abenaki Artists Association, which is Nulhegan Drum, and artists from all 4 of the recognized tribes. Sorry, should I start again?
Sure.
Okay.
On that video. Go for it.
Okay, so I'd also like to say thank you for everyone again. And if you would like to learn more about Vermont Abenaki Artists Association, you can visit abenakiart.org. And we also have an education website called Abenaki Arts and Education Center. And that's abenaki-edu.org, and a YouTube channel called Abenaki Arts and Education. So there are a lot of different places you can get information from, and the really cool thing I think about Vermont Abenaki Artists Association is it's an intertribal organization. So we have artists and presenters from all of the recognized tribes. Anyway, thank you all for coming. And over here, we have Jim Taylor over there from the Elnu Abenaki tribe, who's demonstrating quill work. And it would be really cool if you went over, said hello, and you can ask anyone here questions. We love questions. Okay. Okay, thank you so much.
We're gonna close out the drum when you're done.
Thank you. Yeah, did you want that on or off camera?
Doesn't matter. We're gonna just close it out when we're done. So
Okay,
if you
perfect.
got
All right.
something to say, go ahead. We'll do it after.
I was just going to say thank you all so much for being here. Jim as well. We're going to go visit with Jim. You'll be able to find some updated, edited content of today's event on YouTube. It'll probably be in September. So you can check out some things. We're going to do some footage of Jim's work as well. So thank you again for coming, and thank you to those of you who are joining us on YouTube, and have a wonderful afternoon.